Welcome to Not So New News. Come along with us as we continue to discover an Appalachian time gone by. Today's article comes from the town of Whitesburg and appeared in Letcher County's oldest newspaper, the Mountain Eagle. Volume 2, Number 46, Industrial Edition, Section 4, dated July 22nd, 1909. Page 13 is not named, but continued in today's reading. A hustling businessman, W. Henry Potter. Henry Potter is a native of Letcher County and is an example of what determination and industry will do, no matter what the circumstances. Mr. Potter is 45 years old and was educated in the common schools of this country, and after his marriage, settled down to farming and made a success. When the Northern Coal and Coke Company began investing in this section, Mr. Potter became one of its trusted employees. And this big-hearted concern, on account of his hustling business qualities, regards him as one of the best men. Mr. Potter is a heavy stockholder and director in Union Bank at this place, and is the owner of a considerable acreage of choice coal lands. He is one of our best to-do citizens and has a large circle of friends and acquaintances. Has made a reputation. When the dark clouds arose over the dark tobacco belt of western Kentucky on account of the night riders last year, among the first to enter the field was Lieutenant Chas H. Back, of Company E, 2nd Regiment, KSG. Mr. Back is a native of this county, a son of ex-assessor John P. Back, and belongs to one of our best families. He is about 30 years old, is married, and has an entertaining home on Sand Lick. In his long stay in the night rider sections, the brave Letcherites under his control made for themselves quite a reputation and received from high military authorities many plaudits on account of their valor and good behavior. All the boys who went away under Captain Cottle and other officers have been highly complimented for their excellent work in behalf of law and order for the state. When you drive down a Letcherite, no matter when or where or who, he will make for himself a reputation. They are all made of that grade of material, and all the boys, including the officers, were no exception to the rule in this instance. Leading traveling man, Willie W. Sergent. The subject of this sketch is the eldest son of ex-sheriff Wilson Sergent of Cawley, and one of our most active businessmen. He was reared on a farm and educated in the public and private schools of the country. He was a teacher for a number of years, and then a merchant, and is now one of the leading traveling salesmen in eastern Kentucky. For years, he has represented the big dry goods concern of E.W. King and Company and King's Brothers of Bristol, Tennessee, and is one of their most popular salesmen. Mr. Sergent first married the daughter of ex-sheriff Babe Collins of Colson, and after her death he married Nellie, the daughter of William S. Vermillion of this place. They have a neat little home near this place. Mr. Sergent is deeply interested in the moral and educational upbuilding of the mountain country. Leading military man, Major John A. Webb. At the old Webb Mansion near the mouth of Bottom Fork in Letcher County in 1879, Major John A. Webb was born. He was educated in the public schools of the county and attended college and other private schools in various sections of the state. He entered upon the profession of teaching school and taught for 15 years, 6 years as principal of Whitesburg Academy at this place. During the Ku Klux trouble here, he organized and was made captain of Company E, 2nd Regiment, KSG, and held that position for 5 years. In 1906, he was promoted to major and still retains that position. During the night rider reign in Kentucky last year, he was called into service and placed in command of all the troops in central and northern Kentucky, and was actively in the field for many months. In his military career, he has become acquainted with a number of leading citizens of the state. Being a member of the numerous Webb, Polly, and Adams families of Letcher, and being a jolly, happy-hearted nature, he has an immense host of loyal friends. He is the youngest son of Wiley W. Webb Sr., and is married and has a bright little daughter, Dixie, named in honor of the Southland, and to which his ancestors have ever been loyal. A good engineer, Stephen G. Fairchild. S. G. Fairchild was born in Russell County, Virginia, in the year 1864. In 1874, his parents moved to Sand Lick Creek in this country, and Mr. Fairchild has resided there ever since. He was reared on a farm and by persistent effort managed to get a good common school education and taught in the public schools of the country for 5 years. He then studied engineering and took up land surveying in 1887, and since that time has done more work of that kind than any man in the county. He has surveyed lands in Harlan, Leslie, Perry, and Knott counties, and has executed quite a number of orders from the Letcher and Perry Circuit Courts and from the United States Circuit Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky. Mr. Fairchild has an excellent home on Sand Lick, shown on another page of this paper, a number of interesting children, and is one of our highly respectable citizens. Keep this issue of the Eagle for all time to come. It will be worth saving. It will be worth more than a year's subscription to any other newspaper in the country. A successful merchant, Martin D. Lewis. The above is a good likeness of one of the most successful merchants in Letcher County. He was born on Poor Fork of Cumberland in 1871. He attended the public and private schools of the country, and by the time he reached his majority, had secured a good practical business education. He enlisted in teaching and followed that worthy profession a while. Then, 1894, he entered the mercantile business with his brother, James P. Lewis, at Whitesburg, and has since been the principal promoter and builder of the firm of Lewis Brothers, which has grown to magnificent proportions. Mart Lewis is a quiet, honest, and shrewd businessman. He is a member of the Baptist Church here and is a zealous and consistent worker. No man in the country is more interested in the moral and educational welfare in the country than Mr. Lewis. This concludes today's reading of Part 2 of page 13 of the July 22nd, 1909 Mountain Eagle. We at Kentucky, Tennessee Living would like to thank you for your continued support as we bring to you the history of the Appalachian Mountains.